Hello there everyone. In this video I want to talk to you guys about Project 1, Harmonizing the Elements, Part 2. This is the conceptual design and presentation part of the project. So what are we going to be doing? The challenge: to create a custom environment for your client that is appropriate and tailor-made based on what you know about them. So what are our objectives going to be about this? So we're going to be doing four main things. So we're going to be customizing the spatial envelope by doing manipulations to one main room of a residence, really looking at one major change and about three minor ones as well. We'll be creating a sample board of finishes, all digital, of course, for the proposed space that relates directly to the colors, textures, and overall mood of your selected mood board. You'll clearly communicate and cross-reference all major proposed finishes and key pieces of furniture. And you'll apply form, color, and materials to a given space in a way that serves the practical and behavioral needs of the clients and the setting's functional roles. Okay, those are kind of the high-level objectives for this project. So, based on the assigned client you're given, you'll create a client profile based on the following parameters. So you're going to define the client's overall style, with color and furniture preferences. You'll articulate their occupations, interests, hobbies, group associations, and you'll fully describe the location, architectural style of their home, and document the materials used for the exterior of the building, so not just the interior as well. So what does that mean? Well, you guys have all been assigned a client, either A, B, or C. There's a link to the assigned clients under week 3. So very briefly, you'll see option A, B, and C here. So if you're given option A, you'll be doing a family gathering space. Option B will be a sophisticated or elegant entertaining space. And option C will be a great room for a retired couple. Option A, the family gathering space, will be the Taylor family. So I'll let you guys read all these on your own, but the idea is you have a family with 2 children and a dog, and you need to help design a new great room in their vacation home. It needs to be pleasant, comfortable, and serve multiple purposes. You've been given a pretty general idea of what they need, what the space needs to do for them, and a generic location of a single family home, any place outside of the U.S. where outdoor activities are available. So you get to pick. You get to pick what country they live in, what city, what kind of location it is, and make these clients your own a little bit. So you've been given the general, now you can get specific and really fine-tune who they are. Budget of $2 means moderate. So you can pick out nice things that are durable and meet their needs, of course, but a moderate budget would be appropriate for option A. Option B is the sophisticated, elegant, entertaining space for a couple, Paul and Laura. Paul was born and raised in a small village outside of Paris, and he moved to New York after high school to study art history. Laura is a city girl through and through. She loves the country, but it's the energy of the city she thrives on. Okay, so you're given just a little bit about them. You'll see that they're looking for an entertaining space. They want to see the city views below, so on and so forth. So option B will be in a luxury residence in a high-rise condo with magnificent views of the city. Any city you want outside of the U.S. again. So you get to really define who they are and where they live and make the project your own. The budget for this one is $4, which means, don't be shy. High budget, they have the money to spend, and so you can go high-end furniture, very high-end extravagant materials, and that would be appropriate. Finally, option C is a great room for retired empty nesters, the Johnsons. So it's an older couple in their 60s to 70s. They have a couple of cats, they love to travel, they're educated, and they want to minimize their carbon footprint, eat organic food, that type of couple. So they're looking for a nice great room where they can read, listen to music, work on photo albums, maybe do some small entertaining. So their location will be any single family home outside of the US. And they have a budget of $3 signs. So, kind of in between where they want nice, upscale things, but, somewhat reasonable. So you will not be doing any kind of true budgeting for this project, but it just kind of gives you an idea, a generic kind of general idea of budget for this project. So those are the possible clients. Again, you will be assigned a client, and the client list is listed under week 3 in the schedule. With this project, not only will you be assigned a client, but you're given some space information. You're given a floor plan and a basic perspective of the room, both of which you'll need to use. The floor plan looks like this. And we are not actually going to be drafting a floor plan for this project, but this will be for information, so you can understand the space. So for each client, we're going to be using the same room, the same floor plan, but you'll define them differently depending on the client you get and the design you go with. We'll be working in this area defined as the living room. So it's approximately 25 feet wide, 30 feet long. And there are openings going into an attached dining room space. So we're primarily worried about the living room, but the dining room is attached. And then along here, you'll see this is an exterior wall with a fireplace and a couple of windows. Exterior wall. And then here on the left is an interior wall, interior wall. So there's another room over there that we're not particularly concerned about. The kitchen up above, and then exterior walls along here. Okay, so study that floor plan to make sure you understand the space that we're working with. So it's really this main room, but we can see into the dining room. The other drawing that you're given is a perspective view, a 1-point perspective view. So you can see that it's that living room space. We have the indication of the fireplace and where the windows are here on the right. That's that exterior wall. On the left is the interior wall. And we see that the floor is raised up a couple of stairs going into the dining room. That's what's behind this wall right here where the focal point is in the middle, or vanishing point rather. Okay, so dining room, and then a doorway going out here. And then on the left is that doorway going into the kitchen. So the floor plan helps you understand what you're looking at. But for this project, what you'll actually be doing is drawing on top of this perspective. Okay, going back to the project here. So what will the process be? So the process will be choosing one mood board from part 1. One mood board from part 1. So you'll need to analyze your client, their needs, figure out who they are, where they live, and then choose one of your mood boards that you think is appropriate for your client. Then you'll research online, magazines, catalogs, whatever it might be, the style of home that they live in, and use sketches, trace overlays, and start exploring and making decisions about the space. So you're going to be thinking about potential physical changes, dealing with walls, columns, built-in millwork and cabinetry, and how you want to articulate the space in the living room and the further away dining room. You're going to think about ceiling contours, what's desirable on the ceiling? Do we have beams? Do we have, paneling? Is there a cove? Something like that. We're going to think about the style of things like doors, windows, trims, and moldings. We're going to think about the design and location of the fireplace, the mantle, the hearth, and all of those things. Using your chosen mood board and all of the material samples that you choose, you're going to then, of course, be developing a color scheme and refining everything into a fully developed design solution. So you're going to be thinking about color, finish samples, images for all of the room surfaces. So we're thinking about floors, ceilings, walls, trim, built-ins, fireplace, mantels, all the surrounding materials like I mentioned. You'll also be thinking about 4 to 5 approximately furniture pieces and 3 to 4 accessories that represent the client's style. So depending on your design and what you need to do, these can include things like a chair, sofa, end table. Be thinking about dining table and chairs in the other room. Cabinets, decorative light fixtures, rugs, artwork, window treatments, and so on. Select appropriate materials for ceiling, walls, floors, built-ins, as I mentioned, and you'll be collecting all of the important information from the materials and furniture, such as manufacturer, item name, item number, codes, etc., for our schedules later. To help you kind of get going on the furniture selection, I've included a residential furniture list. So the residential furniture list looks like this, and it just gives you a head start on some manufacturers. So I highly recommend that you check out the website for the Merchandise Mart and High Point Market. These are wonderful resources, super helpful, and a great place to kind of get going. But then I've also created a bullet point list here of, very well-known industry standard manufacturers. So Bernhardt, Hooker, Century, Rocher Bobois, Herman Miller, so on and so forth. So these are great companies that professional interior designers use. So be thoughtful about who you're using. Explore these different options. Go to the merchandisemart.com, highpointmarket.com, or .org rather, I guess. And really be exploring, because there is a whole world of furniture manufacturers out there. Not only, we're thinking about like local stores that we see, right? Like, Steinhoffel's or something like that. Think bigger, think beyond that. Start researching these examples. Okay. So the requirements of the final project, when it all gets pulled together, what are you going to have? Well, you're going to have a total of 4 boards. Now, obviously, these are all digital, so the word boards really just means the layouts. So the first one will already be complete. Again, it will be your chosen mood board from part 1. The other 3 boards will be from this portion. They're all 15 by 15 inches. You'll be writing a project brief. So you're going to include the general, background information, basic project scope, location, and goals and objectives of the client. So this should be really short, maybe just a couple of bullet points, saying you're designing a great room, they live in this city, and they need these a couple of things. Super, super short. You'll write a brief concept statement that very, very briefly describes how you used form, color, materials, and selections to support your design solution, how you incorporated your mood board from part 1, and help the clients meet their needs. So very short, just a few sentences is good. You'll include a selection of, at least one, maybe a couple images of the building exterior that fits your design. You'll have your furniture and accessory selections and a schedule, your material selections and schedule, a coding map for the furniture, coding map for the materials, a highly detailed 3D perspective drawing, and of course anything else you'd like to include. Okay, all of this information will be on those 3 new boards that you create. When you submit this assignment, you'll combine all 4 boards into one PDF submission and name it as you see here. Grading rubric included, and you'll see that you submit down at the bottom. In the next video, I will go through some examples and make sure that these requirements are clear, including how do you lay out your furniture selections? What is a furniture schedule, right? Well, I see that I include code and item. How do I do that? Well, it's basically a table to give you a little clue. Okay, so that is Project 1, Part 2.